Thanks to this new update, I couldn't help but ask myself a few questions while readying myself a bit while playing Animal Crossing earlier. Since with all the crafting you need to do to get the tickets, all the supplies you will probably need, those are needed, but those aren't the real questions we should be asking ourselves. So let's get right down to it. Now the big one is, what will they do for events? For the most part, every facility like Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters, or even Orville and the resident services wear Halloween outfits, for example. They all kind of enjoy the holiday, or even on Festival, they're wearing a feather headband, which is a nice touch. But now we gotta ask ourselves the big question, what of those in the hotel? This update might go deeper than we think that is being displayed, since literally what's going to be displayed here? Now one could say it may stay how Happy Home Paradise is with just maybe a pumpkin on the desk or something, but I feel like they even know people may get upset about that. So they may decorate the family with something, especially since Cap'n has a daughter. What will her role be, if any of that importance, for holidays like Christmas, Halloween, or Festival? Notice how they only showed the fireworks show on the teaser, and not any other events, noticing what the NPCs would dress up for. So will they all dress up now? Sure, Cap'n never had, but that could slightly change. Maybe not for him being how he is, but maybe his family might, making the feel for the holidays. So will the Cap'n family be joining in a sense of the festivities with us? Which means all new dialogue, all new actions, and who knows, maybe Grams over there will give us something for each holiday only for that holiday. But that's just a wild guess on my point. I believe in you, Grams. Do the right thing. But what of the people in the hotels? Okay, you can change the mannequins to fit even the holidays, where one could be a vampire costume or a mummy or whatever fits the season, so that way when walking around they're now in a festival feel. But what of the people in the hotels? Okay, you can change the mannequins to fit even the holidays, where one can be a vampire costume or even a mummy, or whatever fits the season, so that way when walking around they're now in that festival feel. But what will they say about each holiday while vacationing? What will they say about Halloween, Christmas, Festival, even Bunny Day? So even if not having to wear it, will they also join in on the fun on these events? Because if so, that is a literal game changer that we're not being told. Imagine now having more people on the aisle to now give presents to, or even Halloween candy to, or dance with, or join in on Thanksgiving. It also makes sense that it's being published on January 15th, seeing how that gives us at least a month away from a holiday which is actually Festival. Will they dance along? Will Captain family bother wearing a headband inside? I mean, if you already beat Animal Crossing like I did, and have every outfit in the game, you can even dress up the mannequin for them to dress up in. But will they dance? Will they interact? Even if walking around as tourists, will they see the stage or dance along and interact? Since let's ask the real questions. Why wouldn't that happen? Of course, Nintendo, like in 2.0, didn't show us a lot of what we got, and it was left to us as a surprise. And at the end, the narrator says they can't wait for you to discover what's new on your island. Clearly, this is to appease the Animal Crossing community, as they probably are working on the next game. As I told some people, just because they update this game means nothing. If anything, they could update this game to keep those who can't afford the next game happy and content. And to do that, you also have to look at it at a dev stance. You need to take everything into consideration, especially holidays. And they already have the code for villagers to do things. All they have to do, since they're like temporary villagers, to code it in them, which is easier to do these days. Tedious, yes, but that's about it. To have them interact like they're a new villager in town until they leave. Especially since I think even they know people will be mad or even disappointed if nothing happens during the holidays with this unlocked. With new villagers visiting in Cap'n's family, especially since he has a little girl, it would make sense she'd want to dress up or wear something. And it would make sense for a tourist to want to participate in the holidays and festivities. And if you're like me, yeah, I would be disappointed if they did nothing and acted like it was just another day with nothing. It would be fun to go trick-or-treating and in their rooms, or even give them presents on Christmas, or them dancing around in Festival. So already we got a good few questions in our head, don't we? Will Captain's family join in the fun? Will even the tourists join in the fun, since you can give them outfits to wear? And especially since they don't even showcase those parts ahead. What are they hiding? Another great question is, how long does each guest stay for? Like, once they punch in, pun intended, when do they punch out? Do you kick them out when a new tourist is walking around that you like and invite them in to stay and suggest it making the other leave, since it's only a temporary holiday, or what exactly? I kind of feel like it'll be that thing of they stay as long as you want them to, or until, like other villagers tend to do when they have the thought bubble. But this time they move out on their own on a random day, which could be 5 days to a week or later, or until you probably replace them, which adds more to you being able to have control over the hotel. I can't wait for the animations of on that one for the community to make of the characters you play as kicking out the tenant for another one. Other thing is, can you deny a tourist from going into the hotel, or are they just going to sign in themselves by themselves after you talk to them? Or do they only stay if you talk to them afterwards? Like, let's say you got the unfortunate ugly villager you don't want, or in general a character you don't want. We all have a villager we don't like. So what happens in general if you don't want them in or even staying long? I'm sure there will be Animal Crossing players who will find ways around it, fasting the days ahead like they do to kick out villagers they don't want, or I'm guessing that's also where the amiibo comes in, where you can replace them with an amiibo character, so that's another food for thought. Now, I know this has been discussed a few times before, wondering of what happens, but do the tourists, or those who stay, walk around outside like a swap between maybe 2 or so each day, or every few hours, or reload? So you're not just finding them in their rooms like Happy Home Paradise, but them actually walking around, which would be amazing. And if so, will there be a little side quest by them? Like, will they want something crafted? Will they want a gift delivered after getting into an argument with another hotel resident? Or even better, will they also offer you a new minigame to play? If Nintendo does this right, which I'm sure we're all hoping for, if done right, the possibilities are endless, making our island life a lot more interesting and and no longer this boring Groundhog's Day, but every day being different, new, and more fun. And it truly makes you even wonder what the actual residents and your actual villagers will now say. Which brings me on to this new point. Will there be new dialogue to offer? Since, let's be honest, we stopped talking to our villagers for the most part because it's the same old, same old. They like books, they like pens, they like food, they like snacks, they feel like baking, they're tired, they want to walk around the aisle as many times and be called Moon Rabbit or Moon Bear. They say the same old all the time. Well, I hope with this new update there's at least some new dialogue, since now our isle just isn't just an isle, it's a literal resort now. Which, I mean, for those who did resort islands, good job, you're ahead of the game. Since now it's more like resort isle now. So with new people coming in, they already make comments if a friend of yours visits and even remembers your friend that visits, saying they hope to see them again sometime soon. Now, what of these new residents that are vacationing? Will some be thrilled? Will the grumpy villagers be like mad about this idea because they no longer have just a quiet isle? Will the foodie characters, that I like to call them, I know they're lazy characters, but I call them foodies, but will they be excited because they'll tell you they're wondering maybe if they should ask what kind of food or snack that they had from where they're from? Will the peppy characters be overjoyed, knowing now they can be this pop star they wish to be and share their talents with the residents/vacationers to entertain them, in a sense, saying that if they couldn't gain enough love from them, they'll be a pop star in no time? Will the sister characters be on edge a little, saying to just keep an eye out, or say they prank them in their spare time even though they don't, it's just dialogue? Will they even mention Rossetti now being on the aisle saying he's here today, or commenting on him since they comment on the others? There's so much potential for brand new dialogue, even making you question if the vacationers will comment on your own villagers, saying if they're lucky for living there. Which brings us to this. Will they allow the option of, like, the campsite, if there's a free spot, can they move in? Let's say you really like the one vacationing and you have an open slot for a new one to come in. Is this a better way of finding someone as well to have them moving into the aisle? Now, I don't think they'd go that far, honestly, since that sounds too nice to happen, especially by Nintendo standards. But it is a nice food for literal thought here, that it would be be easier to have an already vacationed person on the aisle who likes it and will move in, than always having to find someone via Nook tickets. It's really nice to ask these questions because it can both hype you for what's to come, but on the sad side, also disappoint you to get you angry later. But hopefully more hype than disappoint. Now, another thing that comes to my mind as a question is, can you invite them to the roost? That would make the roost even more viable and fun to have. Sure, they may appear in there, and that's just a very big maybe, as some villagers sit in, but mostly it's always empty in there. If you went up to one of them, could you invite them? Again, there's a lot Nintendo didn't say because they want you to discover it, like with the 2.0 update. Always ask these questions because yeah, that's one teaser could say a lot for what's to come since they have to put everything into consideration. Festivals, holidays, events, dialogue, and even usage of literal characters. Now this may be the biggest stretch, but hey, we never thought we'd get even a 3.0. Hell, we got Animal Crossing 3.0 when they said no major updates will happen before we got GTA 6, so you know what? Everything is thrown out the literal window at this point. So the real question is, since we still got 2 months ahead, will they add a gimmick where you can invite them to the roost for a drink, or will you see them there at least, making the roost more active? Since I'd like to think that the roost and museum are about to get pretty active. That even seeing them walking around the museum would be nice, especially now that you have the megaphone. And that's another thing, you can call your island residents with a megaphone. I do wonder, can you call out to those who are walking around on the island with the megaphone by just shouting tourists or something, or their name? Since I'd like to imagine there would be even more uses to it that are hidden that we weren't told about. But that's again a stretch, but I'm willing to think on it. But museum-wise, I'd like to think since you built the damn thing up, for once it may actually really get its use acting as a real one for visitors, giving it more. Will that mean any secret updates to the museum in the future? Like Blather saying how much more traction it's getting and whatnot? Maybe something happens, who knows? Now, I'm not saying an upgrade to the museum entirely, but Blather's being happy that there are now more people coming in and seeing the place kind of thing. Since even I'll say it, I don't think we're getting much of updates right now for building up more buildings, like how sadly I don't think we get to build up the hotel, which would be fun to do. But in general, having him happy with just a statement and maybe new item of appreciation, especially if you finish the museum or something. That's all speculative, but I'd hope it would be used more, making it actually useful, since I don't know if your aisle is like mine, but rarely do I ever find my villagers in there. But those are the main questions I have right now, which are legit questions of the hotel and even the vacationers. Some have even wondered if you gotta upgrade the desk and why you can even walk behind it. Honestly, I think that'll stay the same, and like Happy Home Paradise, you can walk behind the desk, cause now you're like a worker there, you're helping out, you're decorating and all that. But only difference really is that the rooms are even smaller, I noticed, than the villagers' homes, making it literally a very small room that you can't upgrade. Well, I'd imagine you can't. Unless eventually that happens, or only if you have Happy Home Paradise, which would be a nice for those who have Happy Home Paradise, well, they'll say, oh, you know the tricks of how to make a room bigger. Great, let's expand it. I doubt that one entirely. I think they're meant just to be small for vacation rooms. The other big question I have is, what more can you do with Cap'n? Notice how they didn't even bother clicking on him entirely. People now just speculate he's there just for delivering goods or going to those special islands. But that's the thing they didn't bother talking to him on the boat about. What are they hiding? Since people were mad that no mini games, I do wonder, and it's a huge damn stretch, if they leave out a minigame aisle for you because they know that's what people wanted the most. And again, remember, we got 2 months to wait. And they didn't show everything in the span of 12 minutes. And there's more to discover on the island. Again, that's one is probably a huge stretch. But I am curious what more does this guy has to say and where he'll bring you to, and if there will be eventually new secret islands to even visit. But there are probably so many other damn questions to have and to explore. It's nice to explore this, and it's kind of nice to just sit back and ponder. What are your thoughts on it? Not even just the hotel, but what other hidden things do you think we may get that they're clearly not telling us? If they didn't even mention the beautiful bulk building or even the sidestepping lock-on for building and terraforming, which is a big damn deal, what else are Nintendo hiding from you? Do you think else could be hidden behind this new gem of an update that even if right now people are half and half of being either excited or very angry over, will these updates make them change their minds? Probably not actually thinking on it, because those who are angry want minigames, not decorating in a decorator sim. and can I just say, sure, I wasn't there for the early era of old Animal Crossing, but isn't AC technically just that, a decorator sim, especially these days? So you're mad and angry about decorating in a decorator sim. That's like getting mad at a gun in a shooter game, come on. You know this by now, it's a full-on decorator sim. But of course, with this now a thing, and notice how she didn't even say there won't be any more major updates after this, they may just get their wish. And if not this game, probably definitely the next game, which again, they are probably working on. This could be for those who want something while waiting, since let's say it comes out near the end of 2026 to 2027. This definitely at least holds you over and keeps the community alive, doesn't it? Some people say it's too late for all that now, and even though it blew up on X like never before, so no, it's not too late. The fandom is now alive more than ever. It'll become very creative. People will jump back in and play with friends. Will everybody? No, obviously not. To most who are just that way, which is understandable, they won't jump back in until they, well, get their minigames back, and won't waste their time on decorating. But me personally, I don't mind it. If I can add this part in here as an ending, thing is, people kept saying the hotel is like Happy Home Paradise. In a way, yes, of course it is. Just without the expanding. And if you don't have Happy Home Paradise without the possible shining of objects, giving them effects, stuff like that, it's a smaller one. But it isn't without its benefits. It's not something that you constantly have to do. Once you make out all rooms, that's it, you're done, unless you want to go back in and change things around when you get newer furniture. And or if you have a brand new idea. But the difference is, Happy Home Paradise is where only you go to. Sure, you can give your villagers chocolate, they visit, and you can make them their own vacation home, but it's not like you're going to visit them often, if at all, and go home. The only cool part was the DJ KK concert. After that, if you got all the furniture like me, you're not going back in. You're done. You got everything, you're done. You're a famous designer, you've done all you could, you're not decorating every single NPC's home unless you're a mad lad. Here you get more benefits. Not only are they on your isle walking around interacting, which means new dialogue, new interactions, and possibly mini-games by them, or at least something by them, making your isle fresh every day. Your own friends can view them and talk to them and see the hotel and can go in the rooms probably and visit one of the characters and have fun. That, it adds a new layer on top of what was needed. The isle felt boring. This is what your isle needed. New feet. Problem is, for camping, I was even hoping back then they'd be walking around the isle to get a good feel for the place, but they didn't. Now we have tourists that will possibly walk around and appear every other day or so, making every day a new experience. New possible dialogue from your own villagers mentioning it, saying how now they're like a celebrity island. New things to actually look forward to. Happy Home Paradise only had it to where it was just you on your island, your friends can't come along and party with you, they can't do anything. Here they can join in on the fun, and even better if you're someone first starting out again and don't have a hotel yet, because maybe you didn't get captain yet or didn't hit right away yet. but your friend did, they can come on over and get some items. Or even better, if they have something in stock right then and there that they want and you don't, they can have it, unlike Happy Home Paradise, where you'd have to buy it from them to travel back home to then give it to your friend, which is a pain if you ask me. So it adds more depth that your aisle needed. Sometimes one small thing can cause a big reaction of different things. But that's just my take on it. I hope you're looking forward to it one way or another. As we all wait for the next Animal Crossing game together, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching.